Jesus. So both John and Jesus are named not by Mama and Daddy, but by Daddy alone, our Heavenly Father. So, Christmas starts before the story of Christ. It continues on with our new actors of Mary, Joseph, baby in the womb, Mary visiting Elizabeth, and then the real trick.
And that would be?
One thing that comes around in the United States every April 15th.
Oh dear. Yes, that is a real trick.
Being taxed and counted.
Aren't we glad we don't have to return to the city of our birth for that? I'd have to go all the way to Louisiana.
Yeah, she's
California,
9 months pregnant.
And Mark would have to go to California. Oh,
but
dear.
she's 9 months pregnant.
On the back of an
On the back of a donkey, riding all the way into Bethlehem for, I think, what would have been several days, probably.
Weeks.
Weeks.
Why couldn't they just rent a motor home?
They didn't exist yet.
Exactly.
And there's no way they could afford a horse and carriage.
No.
He was simply a carpenter. He was not a rich man.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
on
should
top
have rented
of that,
a motor home.
And on top of that, he's having to close his business down for that time period too. If everybody's having to leave to go, that includes his employees too, if he had any, because they would have been going too.
They would have to return to their own.
The entire
birthplace.
town just shutting down and having to take off.
And see, a trip like that would have taken us just a matter of a few hours. But they would have been days, maybe weeks on the road. And traveling across country was not as friendly as it is today. You didn't have the hotel you could pull into at night. You didn't have the burger joint you could get that fast food to go.
No, they had to carry their food with them.
Your fast food was usually running across the desert.
And you better hope you were a good shot.
And as you're traveling, there's potentials for bandits, for thieves. But then you also would have possibly run into some very friendly caravan drivers. Other travelers heading to their home of destination where they were having to go to be counted. Depending on what time of year, it could have been very warm, or it could have been quite cold.
And we know in this case, because the Bible tells us, this was during the winter period, which meant it would have been very cold.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is she 9 months pregnant, she's freezing. On the back of a donkey. And he's freezing pulling the donkey.
And a lot of people think riding a horse is kind of comfortable. I've ridden both a horse and a donkey. And a donkey is not the most comfortable ride.
They have that ridge in the middle of their back which sort of sticks out like a bone. They're not exactly padded.
But hey, let's go on a sidetrack here. If you really take a close look at a donkey, do you notice anything special about their coat?
Long ears.
No, the coat in the coloration.
Oh, that part.
He's talking about that thing you pointed out to me a long time ago about the fact that it makes a cross.
Yeah, from the neck
From the neck to the
shoulders,
tail,
down
and then the
spine.
crossbar at the shoulders.
Mhm.
And any true donkey will have that marking.
And the fact that our master rode a donkey not once, but twice, and the fact that it has the crossbar, tells you how far back God thought of those donkeys. Both of the ones he would be riding.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Zacchaeus' tree. That was a pre-planned by God, just like anything that happens, pre-planned by God. Most people are like, well, it wasn't planned. Yeah, it was. God planned it.
Yep.
But God marked that beast of burden with that cross, symbolizing that animal was used to bring his child, his son, into the world, and was also the ride to the triumphant end, which was actually the beginning.
What we usually celebrate around a certain time of year in March. We start with Good Friday, and we end it with Easter. The second time he rode a donkey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, but he died. Actually, he won at that point.
Yep.
And because he won, we won.
Exactly. And all because he lowered himself to what we're celebrating at this time of year, and that is his birth.
But one thing you've got to look at is when the angel Gabriel comes to Mary, she's not running around saying, hey, I just got visited. Hey, guess what, guys? Guess what?
No, because she would have been put away because of being unwed.
Oh, yeah.
As we know, Joseph tried.
Yeah, they're not going to buy the fact that it's God's child. They're going to think she went, slept with a guy, and got pregnant.
Because of the word, I think it was he wanted to put her away privily.
Yeah, privily meaning privately, so nobody would know.
Yeah.
But tell you what, how about we pick up, as they're heading towards Bethlehem next week. Right now, let's bring in a group called Down Here, and a song that's really special to each one of us, as they ask the question, how many kings?
Follow the star to a place unexpected. Would you believe, after all we've projected, a child in a manger? Lowly and small, the weakest of all, unlikeliest hero, wrapped in his mother's shawl, just a child. Is this who we've waited for? How many kings stepped down from their thrones? How many lords have abandoned their homes? How many graves have become the least for me? And how many gods have poured out their hearts to romance a world that is torn all apart? How many fathers gave up their sons for me? Our gifts for the newborn Savior, all that we have, whether costly or meek, because we believe, yeah, we believe. Go for his honor and frankincense, for his pleasure and mirth, for the cross he'll suffer. Do you believe? Is this who we've waited for? fathers gave up their sons for me. You know, only one did that for me. Have abandoned their homes. How many graves have become beliefs? How many gods have poured out their hearts to romance a world that is torn all apart? How many fathers gave up their sons for me? You know, only one did that for me.
As we go through the month of December, we're going to take a real special look at the Christmas story and things related today to that story. You're not going to want to miss one piece. If you want to share it with friends and family, just come on up to ChristianRadioNewsroom.org or .com and click as heard on WJCR. You can play it there. You can download it there. But remember, you're not going to want to miss 1 week. And we're also going to have a special treat of the telling of Christ's birth that you can download and share with all your friends and family and maybe even use around your Christmas tree this year. So until next week, this is Mark,
Joanne,
And Dorothy.
saying, let's pick up that penny and pass a little bit of Christ on with it. Sharing His life and His story through this holiday season. And remember, Christmas truly starts with a capital C.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?